If you're new to the channel, then welcome, and if you're returning to the channel, then welcome back. I just want to extend a quick thank you to all of you for tuning in. So, I was wrong, and as it turns out, we're getting $600 stimulus checks, which brings us to today's video. Alrighty, so in an unexpected turn of events, at least unexpected to me, Trump actually signed off on the $2.3 trillion spending bill for next year, which included $900 in pandemic or COVID relief funds, which included $600 stimulus checks. And again, this was a surprise to me. In all honesty, I expected that it would continue to get dragged out until January because neither side would be willing to budge. Maybe we would still get like a spending bill set up for next year, but the stimulus relief itself would not be until next January. But perhaps Trump changed his mind, especially since we were facing expiration on some of the benefits from the first package, including unemployment benefits, as well as expiration on the eviction ban. Also, on top of this, we were looking potentially at a government shutdown, and who would have guessed when the government money comes into question, where there's a will, there's a way to figure out how to get a bill passed, which is exactly what they did. And you know, I think from a political perspective, Trump might actually be able to swing this in his favor or take charge of this in some way, especially like from a standpoint of being motivated to actually sign this bill. By refusing to sign the bill last week in the first place and demanding changes to it, makes it seem like he was not only fighting for the people of the country to get more money, such as $2,000 stimulus checks, but it also kind of makes it him the one that's in the driver's seat of actually getting a bill put into law or being passed. So by ending up signing it after all and getting this put into action, especially during the week when he was saying that he wasn't going to sign it at all and things were set to expire, he could possibly spin this and say, like, you know, I was the one that took charge and got things done when the government couldn't get things figured out. I ended up just signing the original bill that was proposed last week. But we didn't forget, we've all been paying attention for the past 9 or 10 months. You can't run this fast one by us. If anybody in the government tries to take credit for putting a bill together after 9 or 10 months for stimulus and pandemic relief and argue that as some way of taking action, No, you've had your chance to take action. Anyway, politics aside, let's go ahead and jump into some of the actual numbers and some of the benefits inside of this stimulus bill. When it comes to the actual $600 stimulus checks, if you made $75,000 a year or less on your 2019 tax return, then you will be getting the full $600 amount. For every $1,000 above that $75,000 amount, you get $50 less in stimulus. So $76,000 in annual gross income on your tax return would result in a $550 check, $77,000 a year would result in $500 stimulus check, and so on, all the way until you reach zero. Now, this particular bill that Trump signed, at least the COVID relief fund part of it, is not specifically just stimulus checks. There are plenty of other things that are included as a part of it. We're looking at extended unemployment benefits of up to $300 per week, $82 billion in education funding, $7 billion in internet infrastructure and assistance with paying internet bills for low-income families, small business aid. We're also seeing $70 billion for public health funding, including things for getting the vaccine up and running and distributed to people in the country. We're also seeing some funding for alternative energy sources like solar and wind, as well as an extension on the eviction moratorium until January 31st. So definitely a bundle of things going on here in the bill, and a lot of what we saw in the very first stimulus package, but the amounts are cut in about half compared to what they were the first go around. And I mean, it's kind of hilarious. I mean, $600 is kind of a hilarious amount of stimulus money, especially after 9 or 10 months of waiting. I mean, I guess people can pay off some of the Christmas presents that they bought this year. Now, of course, I realize that stimulus is just a part of this package. There's a lot of other important benefits that are getting extended or that are going to continue going on. But at least when it comes just to the stimulus check and even the other amounts of money, like the unemployment benefits being cut in half, it's just funny to me. It's like, it almost makes it seem worthless when the precedent was already set with $1,200 in the first stimulus package. But that being said, if a $600 stimulus check hits your bank account, I wouldn't turn it down, so neither should you. Take advantage of that free money. It's really, your tax money that you've already paid, but we'll just set that aside for now. As far as an actual timeline is concerned in seeing this money hit your account, there's a good chance that you could already start seeing some of it hit your account this week. Originally, when Trump was expected to sign the previous bill last week, the expectation was that by the end of last week, they were going to be able to start processing and getting things moving with getting money deposited into your accounts. But it seems like they were able to expedite the process, saying that we could see checks go out into people's accounts as early as this week, and certainly we will see checks going out into people's bank accounts by next week. Now, obviously, we're still sitting on a timeline where, Trump delayed in signing this particular bill a week. So I would say, just to bet on the safe side, you could expect to start seeing money hit your account or people's accounts by next week, especially those who got a first stimulus check that was direct deposit. Otherwise, I'm sure that they're going to put up the site again on the irs.gov website where you can check on the status of your stimulus check. I said check like 30 times just there. Now, one other thing I do think it is important to keep an eye on is there's still talks and there's still rumblings of a $2,000 stimulus check. I believe the bill that's being voted on and trying to get passed right now is called the Cash Act, which would be either an amendment to the current stimulus bill that just got passed to increase the $600 amount to a $2,000 stimulus check, or it might be just a separate $2,000 stimulus check all on its own. Now, last I heard, the Cash Act, or the $2,000 stimulus check bill, actually passed the House, at which point it's going to go to the Senate, where I expect it to die in the Senate. But who knows? I mean, it might get passed. I was already wrong about the $600 stimulus check. But all in all, it does appear that the $2,000 stimulus check is still potentially on the menu. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another form of stimulus and, pandemic or COVID relief bill or package when Biden takes office. So, if we don't see a $2,000 stimulus check this week or the next week being voted on and passed, I would definitely keep an eye on things for more stimulus and more just help and relief monetarily, economically for the country once Biden takes office. Which ultimately would treat this, $600 stimulus check as kind of a band-aid, a bridge to get us into the next year. But of course, don't believe it until you see it. I'm still shocked about the $600 stimulus check getting passed, and I'll believe it when I actually see the money start hitting some accounts. But at this point right now, yes, it does seem like I was wrong. And we're actually going to see some stimulus before Biden takes office, and something that Trump actually signed. Which, I mean, for some of the benefits, it is ultimately good, but it just kind of feels insignificant after these 9 to 10 months of waiting. I will be curious to see what, if anything, will happen when Biden and his whole presidential cabinet takes office. I anticipate more, possibly, but it is the government, so who knows. Anyway, as always, like the video. It's going to let me know if you want to see more content like this. Comment down below and let me know if you were surprised about Trump actually signing this and everything going through. And subscribe to stay up to date. I'll see you all next time.